You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. The New York Giants have made a signing. We'll break that down in today's show. We're also going to touch on A'Shawn Robinson. He is visiting with Big Blue, and the expectation is he is going to leave with a contract offer from Joe Schoen and the New York Giants. Joe Schoen knows that the Giants were one of the worst run defenses in the National Football League, and he's got to beef up that D-line, and signing Robinson would be a big step in that direction. But let's start with the news of the day as the Giants and Leonard Johnson. If you're like me, your first thought was, who the hell is Leonard Johnson? Well, we're going to break that down in today's show. Johnson had a free agent visit with the Giants today. He was a UDFA in 2021, sat out the 2022 season due to a torn ACL, and he is signing a 3-year deal with Big Blue. You might say, wow, a guy that's never played in the NFL is signing a 3-year deal. That is what every UDFA gets. If they make the roster, the contract turns into a 3-year deal. And look, it's a depth piece. The Giants regime this season was really good at finding these lower level guys and turning them into players, and maybe that's what this regime thinks Leonard Johnson can be. At Duke, he played all 4 seasons, played in 42 games, 165 tackles, 6 interceptions, 16 pass breakups, 10.5 tackles for loss, and 3 forced fumbles. He had a pick 6. Solid player, but there's a reason that he was undrafted. He's not extremely fast, not extremely athletic. He is 6'1", 190 pounds, so he's got some size and length to him, but still a very raw prospect. NFL Draft Buzz, a website, put out some pros and cons to his game back when he was going through the draft process. They said he's tough in run support and works hard to get off blocks. A hard-nosed player who attacks the run and doesn't back down. Willing and a successful blitzer off the edge. Consideration for a move to safety within a combination of range and sure tackling. Extremely aggressive to come up and put his body into traffic to make more tackles. Some of his weaknesses were that he slips off tackles and needs to finish more consistently. They also say he's inconsistent of getting off blocks and questionable technique, and he gets lazy with fundamentals, sometimes getting high in his back pedal and will breach the coverage call, seeking flashing plays. Well, this is a guy that obviously was undrafted, did not play this past year, so the Giants are taking a flyer on a player like this. They're hoping that they get a guy that they see some tools in and some potential. And a 6'1" corner to 190, 200 pounds, there's some size and some potential that you obviously think can transition to the National Football League, but there are cause for concerns with his game. This is a depth piece overall. He's going to have to fight to make this roster. We'll break it down some more and get to the A'Shawn Robinson rumors coming up in a second. But first, I want to ask you guys this question. What is your one-word reaction to the Giants signing Leonard Johnson? You're always creative and you always make me laugh. So let me know. Comment down below. And if you get hit with that YouTube ad break right now, take advantage of it. Scroll on down and let me know what is your one-word reaction to the Giants signing Leonard Johnson. This is a camp body, a depth piece, someone that's going to have to fight and claw tooth and nail to make this roster. This is someone that I feel like the Giants think that they can turn around his career and get the absolute most potential out of him. This regime with Joe Schoen, since they have taken over the Dave Gettleman era, have really made it very notable, and everyone knows that the Giants are one of the best teams in the NFL at finding these players that slip through the cracks and go on the waiver wire, and really that they can sign and get the absolute most out of. Look at Isaiah Hodgins. Look at Jahad Ward. Look at all these players the Giants signed last year. Fabian Morrow turned out to be one of the best corners really in the NFL last year. They've done such a good job of finding these players and putting them in a position to be successful. And I like how this regime and this coaching staff is in a lockstep, and they just know exactly the type of players that they want to sign and that they can get the most out of. How does this affect the depth chart at the cornerback spot? Well, here it is. Adoree Jackson is still your cornerback 1. He was so good last year. Did have that really freakish injury. First punt return he had, sprained his MCL, caused him to miss 7 weeks. But outside of that, he was exceptional. Aaron Robinson is someone that I am very interested to see how he's going to play this year. Had a really good rookie season, dealt with injuries last year, did not play. I like him. I like the physicality he brings. I think he's a good athlete. And I think in a Wink Martindale defense, Robinson could be a playmaker. You got Darnay Holmes in that slot position. There were talks that maybe he could get cut as he's carrying more than a $2.2 million cap hit on this roster, and they can cut him and save no no money, but I believe if they wanted to do that, they would have already done that. I'm looking at Cordell Flott to take a big step this year in year 2, coming out of LSU. Had really the play of the season on defense. Go back to that game against the Vikings in the playoffs on that 3rd down that eventually led to the 4th down play where Cousins threw it to Hawkinson. Flott had that awesome pass breakup over the middle on KJ Osborne. You also got Nick McLeod. Now you have Leonard Johnson and Rodarius Williams. You still need another corner, but I do think this is a group that's got some talent led by Adoree Jackson. We'll break down Robinson's visit coming up in a second. But first, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because when the Giants make a move, we make a video. There's not going to be a lot of people talking about this signing on YouTube today, but we don't take days off. When the Giants make a move, we make a video. Hit that sub button and help us get to 26,000 subs. We're less than 300 away. A'Shawn Robinson is visiting with the New York Giants today. That rumor and news came out on Friday. We broke it down on that video, and it sounds like the visit is going to for sure happen today. And it sounds like he is expected to leave with a deal. Whether or not he accepts it from the Giants, that is to be determined. When you talk about the player that A'Shawn Robinson is, everybody knows that he is a massive human being, weighing about 330 pounds. He is a run stopper, and he's someone that's definitely going to give some juice to this interior defensive line. He started a lot of games for the Los Angeles Rams last year, played in just 10 games, but he had 42 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits. And the year before, in 2021, when he played in all 17 games, he had 67 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, which is really rare for him. He's not a guy that's really going to get after the quarterback, but he's an elite run stuffer. He can get off blocks, and he's really just someone that takes up a whole lot of space on the field, and it's going to make life easier for Bobby Okereke and the rest of these linebackers on this team. You needed more depth and more professional football players on this defensive line. Last year, you were really making it work with a bunch of UDFAs and waiver wire pickups to be your backups to Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence, and that won't be the case this year. You brought Jihad Ward back, who I thought was a great player last year, and you get him back on a good deal. And then Rakeem Nunez-Roches, who, as I've watched more film on him, has shown that he is an elite run stuffer, but also, like Robinson, not someone that's going to get after the passer. So at the interior defensive line spots, you got Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Ward, and Nunez-Roches. And Robinson would be the guy that could make this a full rotation and not have to have sexy Dexter Lawrence play 90% of his snaps. The Giants have to get better at the rush defense side of the ball, and that starts all in the trenches. And last year, they were the 28th ranked run defense in the National Football League, giving up 146 yards per game. That's not something that you can have happen again next year. The Giants were able to win games, even though the rush defense was really not good at all. Bottom 5 in the NFL. And signing a guy like Jihad Ward, bringing him back, Rakeem Nunez-Roches, or Nacho, as he likes to go by, and A'Shawn Robinson, you're going to be much better in that department on top of Bobby Okereke and Jarrad Davis coming back. There are some wild rumors out there right now in the Twitter streets for Big Blue that if the Giants sign Robinson, they're going to cut Leonard Williams. I don't believe that to be true. License plate guy on Twitter who we've talked about on this show, he's really tapped in with all the players in the organization. He said that's not true, but I understand why some people may think that. He's got a massive cap hit, which we'll talk about, but I would be shocked if the Giants just were to cut Leonard Williams and sign A'Shawn Robinson. I think Robinson is a piece that you want to back up Leonard Williams and not be the starter next to Dexter Lawrence on this team. But there are reasons that people think that. He's got a $32.2 million cap hit for the 2023 season. That's a really big number. And honestly, he probably didn't live up to the hype of that number last year. Had a really good year 2 years ago. Last 2 years, not so much. But he's still a really damn good football player. And he's someone that I want on this football team. And there are ways to get around this $32.2 million cap hit. When you look at what you can do to try to save some money on the salary cap regarding Leonard Williams, if you restructure his contract, you can save $8.4 million. And if you were to extend his contract, you would save $13.4 million. So there's multiple ways that you could go about trying to lower the cap hit for Leonard Williams as you do try to sign a guy like A'Shawn Robinson or maybe another receiver or maybe an interior offensive lineman. And of course, you want to have some flexibility during the 2023 campaign, and you still got to sign those rookies. I think a restructure for Leonard Williams makes the most sense. That doesn't push the money as far into the future like an extension does. This is more of a moderate move for the Giants. You save money now, you sacrifice a little bit in the future, whereas the extension, you save all the money now, but you sacrifice way more money in the future. I think a restructure for the big cat is something that's going to come very, very soon. Let's show some love to Leonard Williams, though, before we bounce on out of here in today's video. I want to see the whole chat littered with number 99 in the comment section. He's been great for the Giants since he got here. He's really a pillar of this organization. He's a captain, and he is really what it's all about and means to be a New York Football Giant. So type those 99s in the comment section down below. I appreciate everybody for tuning into today's video. Some breaking news: the Giants made a signing, so we had to get you guys a video. We're still going live on the channel this afternoon, so subscribe, and we'll see you then.